All right. Here we go. Unit 3, Lesson 12, December 9th, Wednesday, a little more than a week away from Christmas break. First thing I asked you to do is the challenge questions. I really hope you guys are giving these challenge questions your all, because these challenge questions are the ones that I handpick that you are going to see on your test next week. So really focus on these. If you didn't do too hot, which some classes are not doing too hot on these questions, make sure you're really trying to pay attention here. Turn into improper fraction. So we have a whole and 2/7. We want to turn it into just a fraction. We don't want the whole in there. So the one whole is 7/7. That's 7/7 right there. And we have 2/7. 7/7 and 2/7 is 9/7. And remember, the way that you exchange the improper, you exchange the mixed for the improper, multiply, add, that's where you get your 9. Keep the name the same, okay? That is how you turn it from a mixed number into an improper fraction. Now, the second question has us actually multiply. Now, when you multiply, the only way to multiply fractions is by placing them in Mr. Krabs' eyes, right? You can only have numerators and denominators. So 1 and 2/7 is a mixed number, so that doesn't fit. And 3 is a whole number, so that doesn't fit. However, it's very easy to exchange them into fractions. So 3 is very easy. You just put a 1 under it, okay? It's still 3, it's just 3 wholes, or 3/1. And then 1 and 2/7 we just did in the last box. The way that you turn that into a fraction is you go 7 times 1, which is 7, 8, 9. So as an improper fraction that is still the exact same as 1 and 2/7, it's 9/7. Now, if possible, we can reduce the numbers first. It's not possible here. We cannot reduce first, so we just multiply across. We get 27 on top, because 9 times 3 is 27. 7 times 1 is 7. How many 7s are in 27? 7, 14, 21. And then there's still, since we only took away 21, there's still 6 7s left. So that answer is 3 and 6/7. 1/5 divided by 2/3. Now, we have 1/5. We're going to divide that by 2/3. How do you divide 1/5 and 2/3? Well, how do you divide fractions? You don't. We don't divide fractions. Instead, we look at our little division symbol and we say, not today. So we're going to keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. And then the way that you do that is you keep 1/5 the same. You change from division to multiplication, and then you flip. So 3 goes there, 2 goes there. And there was a rule that one math man came up with a long time ago. It was like, oh my gosh, do you realize that when you divide, it's the same thing as multiplying by the flip? It's the exact same thing. So therefore, we use that when dividing fractions. So that answer is 3/10. Let's go into your challenge question. It says, my cat eats a third or a pound, or come on, Mr. Stahl, can you stop with the mistakes of my cat eats a third of a pound of food per week. I just bought a 5-pound bag of cat food. How many weeks will that last me? How many weeks will that last him? Let's see. Well, he has 5. Oh, we're dividing. Here's the cat food. He bought a big old thing of cat food. That cat food's 5 pounds. When he has the 5-pound bag, he wants to figure out how many thirds are in it. So in division, you start with what you have, and then you divide into as many divisor as possible. So it's 5 divided by 1/3. How do we do this? Keep, change, flip. So let me make this a little smaller. Keep 1/5, or keep 5, 5, change to multiplication, and then flip 1/3 to 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 divided into as many thirds as possible, 15. So 15 weeks would be your answer there. All right, we're going to rock these odds together. So your challenge here is not only do you know how to multiply, you know how to divide. There's another challenge. You have to know whether or not to multiply or divide. You got to comprehend these word problems. So a turtle crawls 3 yards an hour. How far will he crawl in 2 hours? Is that, so instead of having addition and subtraction, we're just going to focus on, is it multiplication or is it division? What do you think? Do you think trying to figure out how far he's going to crawl in 2 hours would be multiplication or division? It's multiplication, okay? So first, they want you to tell if it's multiplication or division. So we'll just put an X. And then we're going to say how far he would crawl in 1/4 of an hour. So in 1/4 of an hour, it would be, okay, so they do want us to solve here. How far will he go in 2 hours? So it's multiplication, and we would take 3 and multiply it by 2. And he would go 6 yards. How far would he go in 1/4 of an hour? Okay. Now, just because it's fraction doesn't mean it's any different. If it's 3 times 2 to figure out how far in 2, it would be 3 times 4. To figure out how far he would go in 1/4 of an hour. So you go 3 over 1, you multiply across. So how far did he go in only 1/4 of an hour? He went 3/4 miles. So he didn't even get a mile. He went 3/4 of a mile. Oh, not a mile. I was going to say, man, that's a long way for a turtle to go. The unit of measurement here is yards. So he went 3/4 of a yard. That's not very good. In 15 minutes, he only went 3/4 of 1 yard. Yikes. All right, we'll work on that later. Let's go to this one. Tawana has 3 pounds of nuts. She's using them to fill small bags of 1/4 pound each. How many bags can she fill? Are you dividing or are you multiplying here? Remember, multiplying means you have something and you are going to repeat it a bunch of times. That's if you're multiplying it by a whole number. And if you're multiplying by a fraction, you have something and you want to see what a fraction of it is. Whereas division is when you are making groups, or you want to see how many groups you can make. For example, if you have 5 wholes and you're making a bunch of halves, that's division. You have 5 and you want to see how many halves you can make. Or if it's a whole number, if the divisor is a whole number, you have 5 and you're dividing it between that many people. That's division. So is having 3 pounds of nuts and trying to fill a 1/4 pound bags, is that division or multiplication? It is division. It's division. So do we have 3 pounds and we're making a bunch of fourths? Or do we have a fourth and we're dividing it between three groups? Which one? We have 3, and we are dividing it into as many fourths as we can. How do you do that? Keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. Why? Because we have a fraction here, and we cannot divide by a fraction. So keep 3 the same, change to multiplication, and then flip 4. Flip 1/4, 2/4, 3 times 4 is 12, and then you just plug it in and make sure it makes sense. Does it make sense that she'll be able to fill 12 small bags? Sure it does. Sure it does, because each pound will be able to fill 4 bags. So 12 bags. So we will say 3 divided into 4 equals 12 bags. Equals 12 bags. All right, number 5. A jug holds 1 gallon of a sports drink. Each plastic cup holds 1/12 of a gallon. How many plastic cups can be filled? So once again, are you comprehending this? Are you understanding it upstairs? Or are you only getting the right answer because if I give you the problem, you remember how to do it? Okay? You want to get so close to indubitably you can read a question and know what to do, make the equation, and find the answer. That's the goal. That's the goal here. So are you there yet? What is it? Multiplication or division? If you said division, you are correctamundo, my friend. She has each 1 gallon jug. Sorry, a jug holds 1 gallon of sports drink. Each plastic cup holds 1/12. How many 12ths are in one home? Right? What do we have? We have the jug. The jug is 1 gallon. We are going to divide that into as many 12ths as possible. Keep, change, flip, 12. And of course that makes sense because 12 12ths make a whole. So instead of me wasting your time, just go ahead and write that right there. I am going to rock this in Zoom so we can kind of talk about these problems, and you can tell me if you think it's going to be larger or smaller. Same with the bottom. We'll just do that in Zoom. Let's rock to page 119. So we will work on 13 and 15, and then I'll see you at Zoom. Lucy spends 4 hours a week babysitting. It's nice of Lucy. She probably loves it though, right? Her sister Lily spends 7/8 as much time as her babysitting. Who babysits more? Who babysits more? And the reason I say that is because Lucy spends 4 hours. So Lily spends 7/8 as much as 4. Does Lily babysit more or less than 4 hours, which is her sister? Does Lily babysit for more? And remember, if this is making no sense to you, always draw pictures. It always helps. So here's Lucy. Here's Lily. Lucy is 4 hours, and Lily is, here's 4 hours. She's only 7/8 of 4. So, and Lucy's all of 4. Yeah, Lucy spends more time, 1/8 more time. So does Lily babysit for more or less than 4 hours? That answer is less, because she's 7/8 of 4. Now find the exact time that Lily babysits. Okay, of means multiply when it's of a number. 7/8 of 4. Now, there's many options. We can just multiply across, then simplify, or we can reduce and then multiply. And I like reducing when numbers are staring at me. So I'm going to make this smaller and show you the two different routes you could have taken. You could have taken just multiplying across. 7 times 4 is 28. 8 times 1 is 8. How many 8s are in 28? 8, 16, 24. And then there's 25, 26, 27, and 28 left. So there's 4 left. So 3 and 4/8. And then you just have to simplify 4/8 to 2/4. Simplify, reduce that even more to 1/2. So that simplifies to 1/2. So it's 3.5. Or you could have looked at it and said, oh, Mr. Stalvin, 4 and the 8, you can count by 4s. I'm going to make it a little bigger. The 4 and the 8, you just count by 4s. That would turn into a 1. This would turn into a 2. Usually I rewrite it because it's hard to read that. You get all confused. But look at it. 7 over 2 times 1 over 1 equals 7/2. What is 7/2? 2, 4, 6. It equals 3.5. So either route you take, you will see after you simplify that it's 3.5, and it makes sense that she spent 3.5 hours babysitting because that's smaller than 4, and it's just a little bit smaller than 4. Okay. Carlos can throw a ball 14 yards. Okay. His friend Raul was like, okay, I can throw it 3/7 as far as you, buddy. So who throws it further? Carlos or Raul? Who throws it further? If you said Carlos, you are correctamundo, my friend. How do you know that? Because Raul is only a fraction of 14. So he goes shorter. Oh man, one of these days, I'm gonna get like one of those fancy pens. That could be my mouse. It'll be great. Shorter. Now find that exact length. Okay. We are finding 3/7 of 14. And if you're like, I don't know which one to put first. Do I put 14 first or 3/7 first? It doesn't matter with multiplication. It doesn't matter. Now, do you see anywhere where we could reduce first? You said 7 and 14. You are correct. You can reduce 7 and 14 first. Count by 7s, right? And I always tell you guys, think about dollar bills. Is there a dollar bill? I know there's no such thing as a $7 bill, but if there was, is there a dollar bill that you can use that could count to 7 and 14? Yeah, a $7 bill. How many $7 bills make 7? 1. How many $7 make 14? 2. So now we reduce, and 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And what is 6 over 1? 6. So that answer is 6. Mr. Stahl, I don't get reducing. I didn't reduce. I just multiplied across. If you multiply it across, that's fine. You'll get the same answer. You just have to reduce it. So 3 times 14, you would do that somewhere and say 14 times 3. What is it? 12, 3, 4, 42. So the top number would be 42. And then the bottom number, 7 times 1, which is 7. How many 7s are in 42? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. There's exactly 6. And that's a different way to get 6. But what I'm hoping that you are realizing is it's always easier to reduce first. Not because your teacher said you have to reduce first, because it's actually easier math. If you reduce first, you don't have as much work to do. Ooh, that is a disgusting yard. So that's all I have for you guys for the Zoom. I'm sorry, for the YouTube portion. And then we will, I'm not even going to have you guys do this one. I'm probably going to have this as your challenge question tomorrow. So if you're feeling crazy, you can work on it. I'm going to snip that out and have that for your challenge question. But yeah, this is all I have for you guys right now. And then I will meet you for the live Zoom. We're going to meet every student that is at home right now. They're all coming to the 10:30 Zoom. So you rocked your challenge questions. You watch the whole video to understand it, not just to watch it. And I'll see you guys in a little bit.